Welcome to Daybreak Live on Dominion Television, your channel of choice. Today we'll be talking about things that concern you and I, and that is your health. Most people do not work on their health, and that is one important thing we should work on. Good morning, Samson Balogun is my name.
My name is Abby Dickinson. Good morning, and indeed we're grateful for life and good health. And talking about health, that's exactly what we'll be diving into this morning. We'll be talking about living, because health, if you know, we have to take care of our health. It doesn't have to be when you're sick. Even when you think you feel fine, you should take care of your health and maintain good lifestyle. Because let's look at it. Health isn't just a backup plan. It's also a lifestyle. Don't you think so, Samson?
Well, I think too many people care less about their health until their body begins to scream for attention, and that's exactly why they begin to give what is necessary at every point in time. Now, the question is, health can be, in too many forms. We can talk about mental health. We can talk about self-medication.
Exactly.
So many areas of health that we should be looking at, and too many people don't even care about these areas, especially mental health.
Some people just think, hitting the gym and drinking, herbal products. Herbal, yes. Herbal is also okay, but make it a lifestyle. It doesn't mean because I do not go to the gym and you go to the gym always, that you're more healthier than me. And then if we look at body, you don't check, your body weight, your size, your blood level, your cholesterol level, even your sugar level. We consume a lot of sugar in this country. Now, let me go back to mental health. Mental health can never be overemphasized.
Honestly.
Some people even talk about mental health, but I think we use the word carelessly, even in Nigeria now. Any little thing about mental health.
Some people who advocate mental health really do not know exactly
what mental health. And mental health is very important. Even in your workplace, sometimes it happens, your mental health is threatened even with colleagues. So you have to maintain good relationships, good food, anything that will just stop you from not working well.
And to buttress your point on mental health at workplaces, it comes with verbal abuse sometimes.
Exactly.
And sometimes when you expect to get kudos for what you do that is inspiring, and then you get a knockdown.
And then your morale is just
get demoralized.
Oh my goodness. We need to talk more on that.
Honestly.
Because it's
a topic we need to discuss.
Oh, we need to.
Maybe we'll leave that to Ronnie G on the big conversation.
Okay, because mental health is important. And then in this part of the country, we also do a lot, is it this country or Africans? We do a lot of self-medication. We do a lot of self-medication. Once anything is wrong, let's go. I don't want to call a particular product to use it very much.
Well, it's one product that, it's virtually in all homes.
You just go
and then it's not just, sales is not just limited to pharmacies right now. Even people who sell at corner shops, they also sell those drugs now.
Exactly.
And then people just rush there. You don't even know what is wrong with you. You get to, even when you go to hospitals, when you go for routine medical checks, you get to understand that some sicknesses, some ailments have a similar symptoms. Yeah. So when you get to visit hospitals, you do routine medical checkup, you get scanned, and they tell you exactly what is wrong with you. And then the people misunderstand clean bill of health. Sometimes you think because you are handsome, you are beautiful, you wake up every morning, you drink water, you go to the gym, you take herbal tea, you think you are okay. But then deep down, there's a lot going on.
Exactly.
And then this is one thing you need to look at. Visit hospitals. It's not because you are sick. It's because you just want to know.
Just like
am
you
I
said,
okay?
Routine checkup. Watch your body. Listen to your body. Sometimes, you could just feel a little pain. And you feel, let me just take this, and it will go. But that's a sign of something. You just ignore it. And then it builds up and it builds up. And then it gets to a point. It's really terrible.
And then you have to prioritize rest too. People get to overlook that a lot of times. You think your body is a machine that you can run on its own. Once at the beck and call, then it will start functioning. But then it's a major problem. You need to start looking at ways to give yourself necessary rest.
Necessary. Sleep is very important. How many hours of sleep do we get? Some people will say you have to sleep for 7 hours, some say 6 hours. But how many of us really get that amount of sleep? Because we all praise, everybody wants to hustle. The hustle is real. I have to make this money. I have to take care of my family. But if your body knocks down, that hustle will be in vain. then instead of you to enjoy the money you're working for, you have to spend that money on medical expenses. And I think
and
that
then having stressed that, having talked about medical aspect of it, I think we need to look at ways of taking care of our bodies too. It's quite important. I spoke to someone who says he doesn't even have a cream, he doesn't rub cream on his body, and then you can see the skin is clearly wrinkled at a very young age. And it's like, look, you have to take care of yourself. Even it comes with how you take care of your dental part of right kind of a product that works for you. Not all products work for you, right? And then it's until you go out. If you feel you're uncomfortable, probably you are looking at maybe your vocal cavity is not too friendly when you talk, then you can visit a dentist, and then they will talk to you on. There are products that works for all these things.
Then the issue of water.
And for you, I know you are always with this facial.
Which you? Then water.
Water is quite important.
Hey, water is too important. In fact, you could even go for water therapy. Drink a lot of water. You wake up first thing in the morning, you drink water. Even there's something they say, I think before you take your shower, you should drink water. Drink a glass of water. It has what it does to you. Before you go to bed, drink a glass of water. Maintain drinking water. Take away fizzy drinks. I'm not saying take it away totally, because we really can't eradicate fizzy drinks. And even if you talk of sugar, sometimes we need the sugar
Sometimes
too.
you need sugar. Because
even when everybody says,
you can have too much sugar,
exactly.
you cannot have too low.
Exactly.
It works
so
for
we
you
just
too.
know how to balance it depending on your body weight or whatever is wrong with you. But check that body. Any sign you find, don't just ignore it. It might be something. It could be the constant headaches. Constant headaches. You have headache today, you think you just take painkiller, it goes. You have tomorrow, you just take. It's giving you a sign that something is actually wrong with your body.
Well, one more important thing you need to know is that your body is like a temple. You treat it like a temple and not a trash can.
A trash can. Your body is not a trash can. Just like Samson said, what you rub on your skin, how you take care of yourself. Sometimes, especially you men, you don't care about those things.
Well, some men.
But I see men these days going for, beauty routine.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good. And some people will like, how can a man be doing all this thing? Why can't a man do it? Like Samson, I think you do something too.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Absolutely. I've got Grace I know who helps me with all these things.
Oh,
she
really?
gives me beauty tips.
Oh, Grace I know gives you beauty tips.
Yeah.
Wow, wonderful. We need to say kudos to Grace I know. She's doing well. Because Samson, you look good.
And before you start asking me to explain.
No, I will not ask you.
Tips.
I will not ask you. All right, it's still Daybreak Live, and this is where we say we have a lot to talk about. More discussion coming about how to take care of your health. But for now, we'll go for a break, and Grace I know, the wonderful woman who is giving Samson these beauty tips, is actually on standby for the news. We'll be right back.
morning and welcome to Daybreak News on Dominion Television. I am Aino Grace. The Olubadan of Ibadan land, Oba Owolabi Olakuleyin, has declared the title of Sarkin Shasha in the Akinyele local government area of Oyo State as null and void and not recognized by Ibadan traditional chieftaincy law. This declaration was made during the Olubadan in Council meeting, which was held at Olubadan Palace, Okearemo in Ibadan. The late Sarkin Shasha was the chairman of the Council of Arewa traditional rulers in the 17 southern states of Nigeria in a swift move to fill the leadership vacuum. One of his sons, Ahmed Aruna, was unanimously nominated as the new Sarkin Shasha by the family and the traditional councils of the 17 southern states without the consent of Olubadan. A member of the Oyo State House of Assembly, Anthony Ogunshola, has called for more decisive executive intervention while citing escalating security threats and exploitation linked to unregulated mining in the state. During a House session, Ogunshola, representing Iwajowa constituency, presented a report detailing how illegal mining fuels banditry, kidnapping, and environmental degradation in host communities. He urged increased logistical support for the enforcement task force, better interagency collaboration, and public awareness campaigns for mining communities. The lawmaker also moved for an audit of mineral title holders and site inspections to ensure compliance. The federal government has commenced the national review of the renewable energy curriculum in the country's higher institutions of learning. The Executive Secretary of the National Board for Technical Education, Professor Idris Baguje, disclosed this in Abuja at an event on the overhaul of the National Diploma Program in Renewable Energy and the development of 2 new higher national diploma programs, one in solar photovoltaic and another in solar thermal technologies. The review of the curriculum is aimed at reshaping how technical education equips future professionals for the clean energy revolution. The Executive Vice Chairman of the Nigerian Communications Commission, Aminu Maida, has reassured telecom users that the Commission was committed to fostering a fair, transparent, and consumer-centric telecommunications landscape. Maida, represented by the Executive Commissioner, Stakeholder Management, Rimini Makama, stated this at an event in Abuja. The forum was held to present a regulatory instrument being developed to address the issue of unutilized and unclaimed recharges for airtime and data by telecom consumers. He said that it has become important as the sector evolves and in line with the Commission's commitment to ensuring quality of experience for telecom consumers to address emerging challenges, especially those that may compromise consumer rights. The Abia State government announces a new Made in Abia products policy under which all goods and services available in the state will not be procured from outside the state. This was announced by the Commissioner for Information, Oke Kanu, during a press briefing with newsmen in Umaya, the state capital. This new policy framework is aimed at enhancing the economy and business environment by promoting products made in Abia. The federal government has directed all illegal miners in Zamfara State to vacate the state immediately following the recent outbreak of lead poisoning in Bagudu local government area. This directive was issued by the Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dr. Dele Alake, in a statement signed by his Special Assistant on Media, Shegun Tomori. The minister stressed that all mining activities in Zamfara State remain suspended until the government releases a new standard operating procedures to guide the exploration in the state. And in business, the country director of the World Bank, Dr. Ndiame Diop, has disclosed that the emancipation of the African region lies in the hands of Nigerians. Diop made this disclosure while delivering a personality lecture series organized by the Department of Agricultural Economics, University of Ibadan. The event was attended by the Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, Senator Atiku Bagudu, Vice Chancellor of the University, Professor Kayode Adebowale, who was represented by Professor Oladayo Shonibare, and head of the department, Professor Bola Omonona. The World Bank director maintained that Nigeria must keep in its house in order, adding that his experience in Nigeria has shown him Nigerians have the capacity to turn around Africa. That is the news on Daybreak News. You can visit our website on www.dominion.org.ng to listen to us live and interact with us. You can also follow us across our social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and LinkedIn at Dominion Broadcast, and X at Dominion Cast. That is the news. Good morning.
All right, welcome back from that short break, and that was the news by Anna Grace on Dominion Television. Don't forget, you can follow us live on all our social media platforms. It is at Dominion Broadcast on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and on X, it is at Dominion Cast. You can also watch us live on our website. All right, we are going to the newspaper review segment right now, and I still have with me in the studio this morning Ebby Dickinson, yes, who we have been doing this together. Exactly. All right, I will be starting this morning on This Day newspaper, and of course the major headline on This Day newspaper is after slamming 14% tariff, US kicks against Nigeria's import ban on 25 product categories. All right. Sometimes they say you might not be able to take your own kind of medicine. The kind of medicine you dish out to people, you might not be able to take it. So Nigeria maybe have banned 25 product categories. And now, after slamming 14% tariff, US kicks against Nigeria's import ban. All right. And we've got riders there. Says customs practices constitutes major obstacle to these trade rules. Okay, you can get a copy of This Day newspaper this morning, and then you get that particular story there. All
right. Also on This Day newspaper, and the top, Tinubu and industry leaders mourn visionary and banker business icon Pascal Edozie.
Okay, and still on this day, newspaper this morning, there is a major headline that says, Ndume, Tinubu has borrowed $9.4 billion for spurious projects bypassing National Assembly. And of course, this story is on this day newspaper this morning. Okay,
I think we should move over to the Nigerian Tribune. Okay, you have something else?
Okay, you can go on Nigerian Tribune this morning. All right, talking about Nigerian Tribune, bandits have taken over 64 communities in Plateau State. That's coming from Muftuang this morning.
Also, on Nigerian Tribune, presidency Ndume roll over lopsided appointments claim. You can find this on page 3 with the rider, Tinubu's appointments not reflecting federal character. Says Ndume. And another writer says your outburst reeks of hypocrisy, selective perception. And this is also coming from the presidency, and you can find the story on the Nigerian Tribune, page 3.
All right, talking about on page 20 of the Nigerian Tribune this morning, there's a particular story, a rather sad one. Borno losing ground to Boko Haram. That is coming from the executive governor of Borno State, His Excellency Babangana Umar Zulum, right there from Borno State this morning. He says they are losing more ground to Boko Haram in that part of the country. That's a very sad one.
Very sad one, because I thought this Boko Haram issue was close to over, if not over.
Well, maybe. Let's just encourage the presidency to look into this and then get to do more.
It is well. All right, also from the Nigerian Tribune, on the bottom part of the front page, reps worry over food scarcity and rising prices, with the rider begin probe of intervention funds to MDAs from 2017 to 2024, page 11. Reps worry. Do they really worry?
Well, it's a question for the National Assembly.
Do they really worry? Because with this food increase and all, are you sure these reps are really worrying?
Well, we shall see. Let's keep our fingers crossed.
Okay.
They'll get to answer the question.
All right.
All right, going straight to page 30 of the Nigerian Tribune this morning. The brouhaha in Rivers State has not shown signs of abating anytime soon, as in Rivers, court stops IBAS from appointing administrators in LGAs. And of course, that comes with the suspension of the governor, the state of emergency being declared in that part of the country. Yeah. And of course, there has been so much back and forth as regards if the presidency was actually in the position to actually declare state of emergency the way it did. 1, 2, does he have the power within the law to suspend a sitting of a democratically elected governor in Rivers State? Now, the question is, can IBAS now select administrators in local government? Because certainly he cannot do it alone from the center, which is occupying the sole administrator position, in more or less like a position of a governor in that state. So it needs people in all local government. Now court has stopped him from selecting people to be in those positions.
Because I think he took away government appointees when he came in, and also asking for local government records. And I mean, there was some noise over, like, does he have a right to all these things? Well,
as long as he has been appointed as the sole administrator, he oversees everything in Rivers State. Well, let's see what the court says when the government actually goes back to the court to fight that judgment. Okay, Shetima inaugurates NISO board, signals new era in power sector. It's a significant milestone in ongoing power sector reform. That's coming from Belei. That's on page 11 of the Nigerian Tribune.
Also from page 3 of the Nigerian Tribune, Ondo farmers and youths protest over alleged killing of farmers by suspected herdsmen. When will this herdsmen issue actually come to an end? Well, is it that it can never be ended, or it can never come to an end? I don't understand.
Well, it's a national issue now, because it's not just limited to one part of the country. It's a national issue, and I think the government should do something.
They really should do
something. It's a matter of urgency.
It's becoming too much.
Probably a state of emergency on security should be declared all around the country to fix the issue of insecurity, because lives and properties are being lost every day.
Every day.
Okay, that takes us to New Telegraph this morning, and we'll be taking the major story on New Telegraph this morning. Tinubu's sectional appointment, infringement on constitution. That's coming from Senator Ali Ndume, and you'll find that story on page 2, page 6, and of course page page 27 of the New Telegraph, and we've got a rider there that says it's wrong to appoint 70% Yoruba, but no senators outburst reels of hypocrisy, selective perception that's coming from presidency as they clap back on the senator. As the appointment so far, Ebi, has it been lopsided in one way or the other? Have you seen any, infringement on the constitutions as regards national, federal character, as they put it?
That's a tough one. No?
It's a tough one to answer.
I'm telling you,
okay.
Because this country, sometimes when it comes to appointments and people say, oh, especially like during the Buhari administration, they were like, oh, everybody is almost Hausa, like that. Hausa. For me, yes, I know maybe try and get a balance, but the people who are in these offices or these people that are appointed, are they okay? Can they do the job?
That's the question. My first. Is it about competence or about tribe?
Exactly. That has always been my argument. Is this person competent enough? Let's even look at, tribe, whether tribe different or not. Is he competent enough? If he can do the job, why not? But then people will say, no, there must be a balance. At least if you have a Yoruba, have Hausa, have Igbo there. But what if I have all these tribes represented and they're not doing anything?
They're not doing anything. That boils down to putting the right peg in the right hole. Of course, that takes us to another story on the New Telegraph this morning as APC Vice Chair asks Atiku to drop 2027 presidential ambition, warns El-Rufai against political miscalculation. Okay, this is one thing that, can be, I don't know. But the point is he in the position to advise Atiku on what to do and what not to do?
He's not.
He's not?
He's
okay,
not.
Let's move on.
All right, also from the New Telegraph, 16,000 doctors left Nigeria in 5 years, says Minister. You can find the story on page 2, 16,000 doctors.
Oh, that's the issue of brain drain in the country.
16,000.
And that's not just in the health sector. In tech, in education, people are moving out of the country to get, something they think is bigger than what they will get in Nigeria.
Is it greener pastures?
Greener pastures, you call it.
Are the pastures really green over there?
That's the point. It's until you get there that you discover if it is green or not. Now, the fear is that in 10 years, probably might not have enough hands to do the job in the country.
Exactly.
And then the government should actually look into this holistically. What exactly are we doing wrong that makes Nigerians to troop out en masse to other countries? We've seen, most of the times you see posts on social media about countries like Canada, United States of America recruiting nurses. We don't even have enough in Nigeria. Then Nigerian nurses, Nigerian doctors are moving out of the country. And then you see in Asia, they will request for English teachers. And then you will see Nigerians, Africans, trooping out en masse to Asia to teach English. These are questions the government should sit down, probably at NEC meetings, and ask questions. Are we doing it right in this country?
They will not sit down and talk on that, but they will be throwing bills up and down.
Now, someone asked me a question, I think a day before yesterday, asking about how a basic salary of a teacher in Nigeria can barely buy a bag of rice. Now, the question is, if my salary cannot buy a bag of rice, do you expect me, honestly, in all truthfulness, do you expect me to stay in the country if I have offers outside the country?
At all, I don't expect you, except you like this country too much.
All right, let's go to page 8 of the New Telegraph this morning. And the story says, pension industry boosts real sector growth by 5.51 trillion naira. That story is on page 8 of the New Telegraph this morning.
All right, on page 4 and 6. Of the New Telegraph, we have reps probe CBN's 1.12 trillion disbursement to farmers. You can find out from the New Telegraph.
And then let's take this particular story on insecurity in the country this morning. And of course, Nigerians are looking up to us. That is coming from Chief of Army Staff as he charges troop to do better.
Okay, still on the New Telegraph, on the top of the New Telegraph, we have these headwinds. Mixed fortunes await Nigerian equities market. Mixed fortunes. Okay.
All right, still on insecurity on a different newspaper this morning, which is the Blueprint. All right, Zulumbex FG over rising Boko Haram attacks. Ohaneze warns Southeast governors. All right, we've got 3 riders on that particular story. We need more efforts to dislodge miscreants. That's coming from Borno Governor, Babangana Umar Zulum, sits up, or we call for state of emergency. Indigo tells Southeast governors, all right? Over 50% of national earnings being spent on insecurity. That's coming from Senator Karimi. Now, the question is, insecurity in the country is gradually becoming a lucrative business. Do you think we'll get peace of mind in that part of the country if it continues to become a booming business? Because the more money is being pumped into that particular sector, the more insecurity we get.
You know, people will say, I don't know whether that's true. You've heard people say when money comes in, more problem comes in. Why? I don't know. But I just think if the Nigerian, I think this Nigerian army and security agencies should do their best. I think they can do better for this insecurity issue. Because I don't know, or there are some people backing it up. Because with everything we hear, terrorists are killed, people are being rescued and all. But I just feel people are actually up to it. But I don't know why I feel there's a sabotage coming from somewhere.
Well, that boils down to intelligence.
Yes.
If you don't have the right intelligence,
I'm telling you, there's a sabotage
somewhere. In the dark. All right, let's go to another story on the paper this morning. You take another story on the blueprint this morning.
All right, we see Natasha is here on defamation issues. Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan slams 5 billion suit on Senator Nwabuoye. I thought by now we had rested from the Natasha issue, but I don't know. That woman is strong.
I think she's fighting this battle from all angles.
She is.
Right, so let's see the response
and I am
from the senator.
loving it. I know somebody will say, oh, maybe you're a feminist. I am not a feminist. But, I mean, the attack on this woman has been too much, too outrageous for my liking. What do you think? Well,
I think even before now, a lot happened that we are only getting to, the information we are getting is on a need-to-know basis. We are only getting to know what they want us to hear. That's why exactly I do not want to meddle into their affairs. I just want them to give us something really to rejoice about as a country. As a Senate, I think what we should be discussing is how the country moves forward. We should be talking bills that helps the common man on the streets.
I'm telling you,
and not situations of where a person sits on the floor of the house and then how a woman should shake a man on the floor. I think it is none of Nigerians' business.
And we call these people our lawmakers.
Yeah, and they are the lawmakers. They are role models to some people. And then the question is, which is the final straw that broke the camel's back, is the fact that the country has remained the same. We have arguably, brought in the same set of people. Senator Godswill Akpabio probably coming for, that's not his first time in the House. That's probably his third time, I think. And then he was a governor for two terms. And then the problem now is, if we continue to put this same set of people that are doing what they are doing right now, one thing I know that I understand perfectly well is that every day, our people in power, they bring something for you to discuss that makes you leave national issues. There's always a topic. Someone somewhere they are talking about Two-Face Idibia and then a particular member of House of Assembly. Now another Natasha in Edo State.
This is the season of the Natashas.
Natasha's a minority leader in the Edo State House of Assembly. That's another story in Edo State, and that has been making waves. Then you begin to think
she has been suspended right now.
That's the rumor. Then she posted a video of herself in her office yesterday evening. So it tells you that. Are we jokers in this country?
I'm telling you.
All right, let's move forward. moving forward, FCT enrolls 198,810 for health insurance scheme in 1 year. That story is on page 18 of the blueprint.
All right, also on the blueprint with 1.76, that's a 1.76% growth, 25.59% contribution, agriculture is making impacts according to Bagudu. Okay.
All right, getting to the lower third of the blueprint this morning, I'll bring you this story. Police detained 3 for operating illegal factory in Lagos. That's on page 14 of the blueprint.
All right, this is sports, and I think I'll leave it for Samson. It says, why Chelsea must sign Osimhen?
I think it's an important one. That's coming from John Obi Mikel. He has been hammering this for far too long, saying, look, you need a striker. You can't just, you cannot win titles without a striker that gives you at least 20 goals personally in a season. And then, for now, I don't think Chelsea has a striker with the caliber of Victor Osimhen. All apologies to Nicholas Jackson, apologies to Christopher Nkunku, but then I think they need a proven goal-getter. An out-and-out striker, and someone who has the strength and the grit to get goals against big teams.
Osimhen is the right candidate.
Osimhen is the right man.
Okay, all right. Wow.
Let's go straight to The Guardian.
Okay.
And of course, we're taking this story. 16,000 doctors exit in 7 years, a fiscal loss, says FG. Now, it's the FG talking about this, right? I hope now that they are talking about it themselves, they should be saying a reason why this is not the right fit for the country. We cannot train doctors. Well, I don't want to put it that way, because these people, they actually paid tuition fees in their institutions. So it's not the government that trained them. They were trained by themselves, paying tuition fee by their parents or by themselves. And then when they feel like, okay, I think this is not the right place for me, they move out. So maybe the government cannot really lay claim to, but in some cases, people say, especially in the medical field, they say it's been subsidized somehow, that you don't get to pay, that it's more expensive to train as a medical doctor outside the country than in Nigeria. So this is the only place you can get, an affordable medical education. That's Nigeria. So after getting that, that's exactly the angle the government will be coming at. Okay, we have given you education that is almost free, and then after you have trained, you are moving out of the country. And there was a point, I think that was last year, when the government said, okay, after you have trained as a medical doctor, what we'll do is that you serve for a particular time before you get your freedom to travel. That came out last year. Okay. So now the point is it even advisable for the government to say you cannot travel after you have trained, just because they feel they are entitled to?
Why should you be feeling entitled? I trained myself. You did not train me. And when you talk about free, is it really free? Do we even have free education in this country?
Well, we'll go back to the days of Chief Obafemi Awolowo, who had almost then it was totally free education.
I mean, I'm talking of now. Yes, I know.
The current crop of leaders we have now, they went through the same school, the same set of schools then, and then when they came out, they got to the corridor of power and they cannot provide free education.
Exactly, you cannot replicate what you saw before, what you went through.
Is it that the population is, so much now that the resources is not enough to provide that?
No, we have enough resources.
We have enough resources. Let's move on. Moving on, the PINL, one of the 100 visionary and transformative companies, that shaped Nigeria's economy landscape in 2024, tells its away from that, story. Let's go to Leadership newspaper this morning. All right, PCC resolves 15,077 cases in 6 months. That's on page 7 of Leadership.
Okay, also on Leadership, Presidency defends Nigeria's fiscal federalism. Samson, there's a lot of riders there. Please, can you take it?
All right, talking about the presidency and the fiscal federalism, says no universal template. Mismanagement is our real problem. That's coming from Shetima. We must strengthen our system. That's coming from Namadi. And of course, we will ensure all our children are in school. That's coming from Kano government. All right. Akwa Ibom boasts of impactful policies. We don't tamper with press freedom. That's coming from the AGF. And of course, our awards are to inspire. Zainab, Nda, Isaiah. Those are the riders you will find on that particular story. So many riders ride that. But then the one that caught my attention is the fact that the Kano State government are saying that all the children in Kano State will be in school. This has been one thing that should have been done a long time ago. I think keeping children, it's not a bad idea for them to go to religious schools. They can always do that after school. But then giving them education that makes them understand the value of life, makes them understand the moral values in the society, and of course takes them away from being a burden to the society. I think that's much more important than overruling all that and then focusing on just religious studies. I think right now the government should balance the two.
Exactly.
Get actual education and then be religious too. There's nothing bad in having these two together.
There's nothing bad at all. All right, also from the Leadership, NCC gives telcos 90 days to resolve unclaimed airtime.
Well,
airtime.
Sometimes you have SIM cards, you have phones, and then there are still airtimes on those SIM cards, and then you probably forgot, or maybe you're no longer using the phone and you just kept it somewhere. And then there'll be probably a little bit more explanation on how this will be done by telcos. But then the main issue is that the price of data is killing these days.
Do you see I'm doing?
And the price of airtime is killing these days. So there used to be a time when after you have you bought airtime, you get some bonuses, and then you go back to your bonuses to make some calls. Your actual airtime will be used for data. But these days, it is totally different. You have data is as important as food to some Nigerians, most Nigerians now. The way they feel alive is to just go for therapy on social media. They get to see a whole lot of things that keeps them intact. And then if they cannot do that anymore, then it becomes a problem. So the government should know that if data continues to be this expensive, if airtime continues to be this expensive, the country might be sitting firmly on a keg of gunpowder.
We have always been sitting on a keg of gunpowder. In fact, if I should ask now, we ask you what exactly is even cheap right now? Because food
Everything
is expensive.
Yeah.
Data, okay, you know, to cool down your brain, let's see what's happening, or go and watch some skits and laugh. It's expensive. Transportation is expensive.
To get across to your
Fuel
people,
is expensive.
Everything is expensive. And then the basic salary in Nigeria is how much?
Oh my goodness.
All right, away from that, let me take this particular story before we go. 2025 Hajj, Nakon OGSPs are made squabbles. You will find that story on Leadership newspaper this morning, and that story is on page 51 of the Leadership newspaper.
Also from Leadership newspaper, only president and vice president deserve immunity. Interesting.
Well, the issue of immunity has actually been something we should look into these days. We can't keep people at the corridor of power, and they abuse power, and nobody will be able to do anything to them.
Because they have immunity.
And we must also understand that the fact that most politicians will come to power with the assumption that, okay, as a governor, I have won the first 4 years, and then it's certain that I'm coming for the next 4 years. I think that idea has to stop.
It has to
if
stop.
you have not done well, you have not done well, and you are not coming back.
Exactly. And you know what they do? Have you really watched? Sometimes I've seen how this happens. Like the first 4 years, they take it slowly. Then maybe it gets to the third year,
and then
they start doing something. So that because they know, okay, by the time they start this, people will like the project, and there's no way they won't come in for second term.
Yorubas will call it Shagbeloju project. They paint everywhere black.
They start doing things by the third or going to the fourth year, so that you say, oh, this man is working. There's no way he will not come back.
There's no way. So after he is returned, then he relaxes again and then begins to do what he likes. All right, away from there, 4 killed in renewed Ebonyi land dispute. That story is on page 53 of the Leadership newspaper this morning. Also
from the Leadership newspaper on page 21, Kano lawyers decry ban on Salah Doba. The Salah Doba issue, That
takes us to Business Day this morning. Let's take the major story on Business Day. Pension cash floods infrastructure as assets triple. That's the major headline on Business Day this morning. And of course, you have taken the sporting story.
Yes.
All right, take the last one before we go.
All right, this is also on Pascal Dozier, the visionary who banked on Nigerians' future. Well, what we will say here is may his soul rest in peace. Pascal Dozier.
Well, this brings us to where we draw the curtains on this part of the show this morning, the newspaper review segment, where we bring you major stories on the pages of the newspaper. We'll go on a short break, and when we return, we still have a lot in stock for you.
We have the trend watch. We have sports,
scoreboard,
and of course an analyst, where Samson will be doing justice to all these stories you've heard.
I won't be the one to be doing justice to the stories. The analyst will be doing that. My own is to just
mediate. Samson and the analyst anyway. All right, thank you so much for staying with us this far, but don't go anywhere. Don't turn it off, because we're coming right back with more juicy stories, talking about what's happening on the social media. And you know, when it comes to sports, Scoreboard is there for you. Thank you so much.
We'll be back.
Welcome to Dominion Broadcast House, your channel of choice, with the best stories and the best songs, where inspiration meets entertainment.
From powerful stories to thought-provoking conversations, we bring you content that informs, entertains, and transforms.
Catch top-notch entertainment, including movies, talk shows, and insightful programs curated just for you.
Looking for cutting-edge documentaries, exclusive interviews, and lifestyle shows that matter? We have got it all.
Stay ahead with the latest trends, inspiring success stories, and must-watch TV moments only on Dominion Television.
Join a community that celebrates excellence, innovation, and African storytelling at its finest.
Don't miss out. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on all our social media platforms, and watch Dominion Television today.
Well, you're live on Trend Watch here on Dominion Television. You can call me your police to know what is going on the streets of social media. My name is Osare Nomasaba. Most people know me as the Edo Queen. Let us gist. Okay, so now, I mean, literally what has been trending a lot on social media was the match between Arsenal and Real Madrid yesterday. Now, most people probably thought that Real Madrid will win Arsenal. Even I thought, Real Madrid will win Arsenal, but they gave us Ella. It was a 3-0 match in favor of Arsenal, and a lot was going on. Now, what was interesting is Joe Boy, of course, we know the Nigerian singer, actually staked 3 million naira thinking that Arsenal would win. In fact, he said he was going to drink Arsenal's tears. He watched the match live, but it seems that he's the one that was actually in tears. But of course, trust social media people to type and, get talking with their fingers. So let's take a look at some of the comments about this happening, okay? One of our first comments here is from Diana, and she says, Joe Boy Pondets, as by he now lost his 3 million naira. Okay, now on to the next comment. That is from I Am Candy 211. Yes, I Am Candy says, now wow, una get money, you lose 3 million naira, still they active. Me we follow your footsteps, lose 10K. Go just they catch me, God I beg. So now after Joe Boy, eventually lost his 3 million naira, after the match, he eventually posted his stream links, and I wouldn't say begging, encouraging people to stream his song so that he can kind of, get some of the money that he has lost back. Now, this person lost just 10K, but it's still paying the person to the bone marrow, right? So, I mean, I would say, I'm not a football person, but, I would say gamble your money at your own risk, right? I just feel football is, maybe because I'm a lady, but I feel football is, it just gives you an unnecessary high blood pressure. Too much high blood pressure, because it's just like watching people chase a ball. Don't come for me, but I just wouldn't. I just wouldn't. Right now, our final comment on this we have from Loud Punts. Now this says, you go see Declan Rice free kick for Dream, no worries. So of course Declan Rice was one of the people who scored during the game, and I think it was 2 free kicks that he had. I think so. I don't know, but I do know small. So he was one of the people who got 2 free kicks, and Loud Punts is hoping that Joe Boy will see Declan Rice in his dream, and who knows, just maybe Joe Boy could get the money he lost back. Okay, so now moving away from sports gist, let's talk a bit about civil matters. Now in 2023, during the elections, there was this young boy, Yusuf Alabi, 15 years old actually, this viral picture rather, of him standing in front of Peter Obi's convoy with his arms wide open, and of course you probably know it. The picture went viral. Now news reaching us is that he has actually been detained. That's English. Thank you very much. He's been detained, for a while. Now, we're not sure particularly if he's guilty, but it's seeming that, he has been reportedly accused of wrongfully being engaged in stealing and fighting. Now, yes, this is the picture you're seeing on the screen. He's 15 years old, and apparently he was coming back from work one fateful day, and he was apprehended by Egbo Adubo. That's the people in the area. They do apprehend him and handed him over to the police, right? They handed him over to the police, and then they said he was involved in fighting and, stealing in the area. Now, some people say that this Egbo Adubo, they're actually vexed or angry because during the time that he saw Peter Obi, or probably his palms were greased because he met Peter Obi or was involved in this viral picture, he did not do the due diligence to the people in the area. They were expecting to get some money and gifts out of what that's Yusuf Alabi, had received during this time, but they carried that vexation out and have handed him over to the police. So now he's been detained at Kirikiri prison for a while. His first hearing was actually March 27, and the next court hearing is this April 28th. Now, Omoyele Sowore and Inibehe Effiong have decided to take this matter into their own hands, saying justice must be served because they believe that, a 15-year-old boy shouldn't have to face this. So we would see if truly justice is served. We know Inibehe Effiong as a human rights lawyer, and of course, Sowore as a human rights activist. So this is not the first time they are ganging up or teaming to, put justice in the right place. But of course, we will see what will happen at the end of it. Is truly Yusuf Alabi innocent in this? Or maybe the Egbo Adubo should go and rest somewhere. But let's take a look at some of the comments of netizens on social media. Okay, so we have this comment saying the typical mentality of an average field in life. Street bros in Lagos, just have a conversation with them for a day and they automatically feel entitled to your life, your earnings. They expect you to dip your hand into your pocket at every request, but they will refuse to work. So now this is coming from the angle where the Egbo Adubos, aka area boys, somehow feel entitled to your money, whether they work for it or not, right? And to be honest, we see this entitlement even past the Egbo Adubos. We see, as I wouldn't say as little as, but even the security guard, at a restaurant or anywhere, just so many people that feel entitled to your money or to your time, or they just feel entitled, right? So maybe this is, the angle this person is coming from, feeling that they're feeling entitled to Yusuf Alabi's money that he got from Peter Obi. Next comment from Christian says the civil society can take up the matter to vindicate him. Yes, of course. Well, now this is a civil matter, and of course, because we have lawyer Inibehe and Sowore already looking at this, then we know that things will unravel eventually, and we will see if he's vindicated, because of course it's noted that he is a minor, just 15 years of age. Okay, the final comment now on that we have from Abu Oka. Yes. Don't be surprised if it turns out to be true. Things more pathetic than this has been happening in one Nigeria before now. Okay, of course, we know there are two sides to a coin. If he's actually innocent or actually guilty of what he's been accused of, which is fighting and stealing in the area. So I think we'll just sit and watch as all of this unravels, and of course trust that as we are the police of what's trending on social media, we will bring it to your notice, okay? So now moving away from civil matters, let's go into still music, but a little bit of romantic information, still about love. Okay, so Davido has come out to declare that polygamy is not for him. Marrying more than one wife or having more than one woman is not within his purview anymore. So this was done, he had a podcast with a few people, and, he was basically just sharing how, he has seen the disadvantages of cheating or having more than one woman. Now, he has 5 children from 4 different women. Now, I don't think this is up to the capacity of Two-Face Idibia. I'm not mentioning names, but you know, it's not up to his level, but still, of course, he has said that, Davido has said, based off of the relationships and experiences of his uncles, he has seen that even with so much money that you have, when you are with multiple women, doing Solomon activities, when you're with multiple women, you know, definitely there will still be issues in your relationship. So now he has said he is dedicated to Chioma and he has given her assurance. We see that he has had 5 different children from 4 women, with Imade, you know, being the oldest of them all. But now he has said, you know, I'm not doing again, I'm not involved in multiple women or cheating anymore. Now, moving away from him saying he's not going to be in polygamy anymore, we have Harry Song on the other end saying that he's polygamous in nature and he is not sorry about it, right? So, which is a very clear, you know, opposite of what Davido has said. Harry Song is saying, you know what, I agree, I actually can't do polygamy, and he's free to, you know, marry 1, 2, 3, 4, as many wives or as many women as he pleases. Okay, and of course we know that Harry Song's marriage, you know, crashed earlier this year, and the wife, or well, former wife now, has actually said, you know what, I'm a free woman, I'm free to do whatever I want to do. They've not said in detail, you know, what is going on with their divorce proceedings, but you know, we know that they are not together again. But before, you know, we talk more about that, let's take a look at some of the comments on that as well. Okay, so Wura says, I might be wrong, but personally, I don't think cheating people ever stop. So, of course, some people say, you know, once a cheater, always a cheater. But, I mean, it's also really up to the person to decide if, you know what, I'm going to turn a new leaf, I'm not going to cheat again. But now, Davido has said he's not doing it again. So, let us wait and see if truly he won't be doing that again, all right? So, let's take a look at the next comment. Still on this story. Life of Molola says, I hope women can see that him cheating on you is not about you. It's never about you. See how he didn't say he would not cheat because he got the most beautiful and cute woman in the world. He said he won't cheat because he doesn't want wahala. Take a lesson from this the next time you think it's because you are lacking something, and that is why your partner cheated on you. And remember, this goes both ways. Love and light. So, of course, this is, you know, putting it out there that if a man cheats on a woman, it is not because there was a problem with the woman, or, you know, vice versa as well. If a woman cheats on the man, it's not the partner's problem, it's the cheater's problem. All right, so let's get that, you know, let's get familiar with that as well. Okay, so Christabel says, as long as Chioma is happy and comfortable, then carry on, my dear. So as long as Chioma, our lover, is comfortable, then Davido can do what he pleases. But I mean, I think we should be rest assured that we wouldn't be hearing or seeing any problems, given that, you know, he usually gives us assurance of his words, and he has said he doesn't want wahala, so he's sticking to Chioma and his twin children. Okay, now let's take a look at some of the comments, you know, based off of Harry Song's, you know, polygamous nature, if I would say that. You know, I already mentioned that he has said, you know what, he actually is free with, you know, polygamy. All right, so D Goddess says, just do you, I beg, I don't tire, no be everything I go shook mouth for. Because to be honest, you can't be responsible for everybody's opinion or everybody's choices. So whether he wants to do one woman no or 2 women no, it is up to him, and we're not going to chook our mouth inside. Okay, now final comment, Coco Zillionaire says, I hope no one complains when women decide to be polyandrous. To be honest, I actually don't know that we see as many, now don't get me wrong, but I don't think we see as many polyandrous women as we see polygamous men. Are we? Yeah. I don't think we see as many women, you know, who like to do like marry many husbands, but we see, you know, men marry many wives. I think it's an African thing, definitely, but there are also some cultures, you know, where, you know, we see women marrying, you know, many men. But I mean, this kind of generation we're living in, everything happens really fast, and, you know, things change every day. But I mean, I think we can just process all of this, process, and, you know, just keep digesting. And of course, when we always have, you know, top trendings, you know, what is going on the streets of social media, trust that Trend Watch will bring it to your notice. I would call it a day on Trend Watch today. I am the Edo Queen. Back to you, Samson and Ebi.
Well, you have done a very good job analyzing.
Thanks so much. Thank you.
But the one that caught my attention is the comment that says, no, if a man says he's not going to cheat, it's not about you, it's about himself. So I think that's a little bit selfish. Sometimes it could be about the woman. You know, you might love that woman so much that you feel like, I don't think I want to hurt this woman. So that's not totally true. I think I'm against that. I'm against that.
No,
but that's our opinion anyway. I'm not canceling what she said.
She was saying that if a man cheats on a woman, it doesn't mean that there was a problem with the woman.
Yes. The woman should not feel like any form of low self-esteem.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, it's just about you.
Yes.
It's not about you. It's about the man wanting something different.
Exactly.
And then it could be that the man stopped cheating because he wants to be with you alone.
Exactly.
So it's in both ways.
Yes.
But then she was talking more about nothing wrong with the woman. So don't go and give yourself a headache. It's just the man doing his thing. So another one that caught my attention is Davido, Imade's daddy, who said he's no longer interested in multiple women. But then, once a polygamous man, forever a polygamous man, he already has children with other women. So he can't turn blind eye to those women whenever they need financial help, or maybe they just want him to be there for them. So if you like it, you might not take it, but then Yorubas know that if you are married to a woman or a woman has a child for you, they will tell you that so it means that you are gummed together. You cannot separate these two people.
Yes. Well, truthfully, right, we know that Davido has, you know, a number of children, and I would say he has been involved in their lives. Although, I mean, there was still some issue, you know, recently, or not recently, but, you know, a while back about him and, you know, Sophia Momodu and, you know, his child, how, you know, it was still an issue for him to try to, like, pay for child support and all of that. But if he's saying that he really doesn't want to be polygamous in nature, he may still be involved in their lives, but maybe moving forward, he wouldn't be stretching his leg out to get more children.
That's clearer now.
Yes, please.
He may still be. He has to be. It's not he may.
These like being involved in their lives, right?
He has to be involved whether he likes it or not. But that doesn't mean he will continue doing. He will just be the father.
Yes.
But anyway, coming to Nigerian men, we can't tell with them.
Do people actually change?
Samson, I will. No, people change. Now, let me ask you, based on, you know, the cheating from the first one.
Okay.
What is it? Because I asked this question just yesterday too.
All right.
What makes men cheat? In fact, I will ask Sarah herself, because it goes both ways, you know. Men cheat, women cheat. So tell us.
I think there are peculiar situations, there are peculiar reasons where men cheat. One of the things is that can make a man cheat is that just like when we buy goods, items.
Just tell me. Don't leave items alone.
I'm trying to explain. Don't tell me I'm going to explain time, but I will explain. But the thing is, when you buy items, especially when you order online, and then after you have ordered, you don't get exactly what you ordered. And then you feel like, I think I want something more.
Did you order for the wife online?
It's about something more that actually pushes some men. And then it's about inbuilt attitude that pushes some. They just cannot help it.
Can I go for something more too, as the woman? Because talking about polygamy and polyandrous.
Yes.
Can I go for something more too?
I think where I'm from.
You people, exactly. You see, exactly. They will say, as an African man, you can do this. Why can't I?
As an no, in some African countries, it happens. Polyandrous thing happen. I think I've seen that in maybe Kenya or Uganda or something. But then you don't get to see more of that, and we don't get to publicize it that much. It just happens. But truth is, where we are from in Africa, I think we should work with our culture more.
Our culture allows the man to
allows a man to get more than
be a philanderer.
Yeah, can get.
But the woman should just be there. So even if I'm not getting more,
as long as see the thing is now.
Or what I ordered versus what I got from the man.
As long as a man can take care of, you know, responsibilities, and Islam actually preaches that and tells you, if you know you can be satisfying to both women at the same time, I think there will be no problem. But then if you are going to lean towards one than the other, maybe you should not try it, because even the religion does not permit you to, show more affection to one than the other, maybe buy material things for one than the other. But then, truthfully, as an African man, our tradition says, I, Samson Balogun, can get more than one wife. Now, it depends on me to decide if I want to. And I don't think I want
just
to.
Like you cannot be eating egusi every day.
Yeah,
because that's the
no,
I'm not getting it. That's the reason. If people say you don't eat egusi every day, you need ogbono, you need
variety.
Well done. What of this woman?
This takes you to you as a woman.
Yes.
I think some of the times you should spice it up. You should not think because your man
See,
likes
whether
you,
let me tell you one thing I say. I don't know whether I'm allowed, but I will say it here. See, men, if you like, I always say it, turn 360 for them on that bed. If they want to cheat, they will still cheat. So it's not always about, okay, maybe the sex isn't going well, or the food is
the
just
point
you
now
people.
is not just about one particular thing. That is what you should get. I think you should size your man up, psych the man, and know exactly what he wants.
But why don't I must always know what my man wants? Why can't my man know what I want?
I think you will be able to do that if you give him the room to
I
do
like
it.
how you're
And if he
supporting
wants
your
to
men.
do it. No,
Well
no.
done,
It's
sir.
not
I
just
can
about
see
the man.
the debate is very hot.
It's not just about the man. If the man wants to do it, that's now about the willpower to do things. And most men are just too tired of doing more for their women, and that's a major problem. If you fail to put women in your positions too, this having married a woman does not mean you have bought her from your family.
Oh, of course.
It's just you coming together to form a family, and then you have self-respect for each other going forward.
Self-respect and
that includes you, respecting her feelings, her wants, and her needs per time. So if you cannot do that, I don't think you are a man. That's quite important. And then going forward, if a man goes for another woman, I think you should, it would have gotten to a stage where as a man, the woman must understand why you are doing it. And then she must understand, I think this man I have married might probably get another wife along the line. So if you have not made that known, and then all of a sudden your family members have come to sit down and say, I think we have offended you, we have offended your creator, please accept, I think that's totally wrong. That's totally wrong. You can't just wake up one day after you have made that person understand that it's just you and you alone, and then you have come and said someone is pregnant. As in, I don't get it.
Well,
Even if you call me as a man,
Yeah.
I won't join you to make that kind of play. It has happened to a friend of mine. I told him, look, me will not
You're
go
not
to your
a
wife.
monkey.
I'm not a monkey. Please don't count me.
Just like you've said, I think it's definitely about self-respect and respecting the other person, and of course discipline, because Ebi said, some people, I won't just say men, it could be men or women, right? No matter what you give to them,
They will
right?
still
They
do
would
what they
still,
want
do what they
to.
want, because that discipline is not
It's
there.
lacking.
So it's just what it is. We
It
can't
is
force
what
our
it
opinions on
is.
people,
All right,
but
thank you,
let them
Asare.
know.
It's
Thank
really
you
nice to
very
have
much.
you
Don't
with
mention.
us this morning.
That's why we're here.
All right, the show is still Daybreak Live on Dominion Television. Don't forget you can watch us live on YouTube. You can also do that on our website and the social media handle with which you can drop your comments, you can react and interact with us. It's at Dominion Broadcast on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Those are the places you can find us. Just follow, subscribe, and continue to like our posts, and you watch them too. And on X, which is formerly Twitter, it is at Dominion Cast. Stay tuned. The show is still Daybreak Live on Dominion Television. We'll be back after this timeout as Toluwani Abe will be taking us around the world of sports. Real Madrid, well, against my prediction yesterday, they were able to chop rice and beans at the Emirates Stadium. But then, after this timeout, we'll be back.
Good morning, sporting family. Welcome to Daybreak Sport on Dominion Television. I am Abe Paul Toluwanimi, and I'll be taking you through the world of sport this morning. I will be looking at the local scene and also the international scene right there on Dominion Television. Quickly, let me let you know that there's a situation report coming through from Lobby Stars and also MPFL. We have got the report that the Lobby Stars Nigerian Premier Football League, NPFL, have summoned Lobby Stars media team, Emmanuel Uja, to appear for an inquest into a publication in which it suggested that the players were engaging in betting activities. Uja will appear before the NPFL disciplinary committee in Abuja on Wednesday, the 9th of April, and he's expected to throw more light on the claims he made in writing audio recordings. That's the situation we are getting, from the Lobby Stars and also the media team with the MPFL, and that's not something we always want to hear, concerning our players going into, betting activities, while playing professional football right there. Moving away from that also, let me let you know that the 2024-2025 MPFL season rescheduled fixtures will take place today. The match day 30 fixtures against Lobby Stars and also Remo Stars. And you might want to be asking, why are we having a rescheduled fixture right here? The Lobby Stars versus Remo Stars match was originally scheduled for the December 21st, 2024, but it was postponed due to unforeseen, circumstances right there and logistic issues coming in from the Lobby Stars team. Remember, they had their temporary games played at Tafawa Balewa Stadium in Bauchi, but right now this move was prompted by ongoing renovations at the original home ground at Ikpa Echo Stadium right there in Makurdi. So let me let you know that this game is also going to be played in Nnamdi Azikiwe Stadium right there in Enugu. 4 p.m. is the time. Lobby Stars against Remo Stars, match day 31. Also, let me let you know that the fixtures also is up and running for Remo Stars, who are sitting 60 points on the table right there in the MPFL Premier League, and also where we have Rivers United also sitting third on the table. Rivers United sitting second on the table, with 55 points, and also Abia Warriors are sitting third on the table with 50 points. And remember, the race for the Continental ticket is up and running. Right there, the 4th, the 5th, the 6th, the 7th, the 8th, the 9th, are battling it out for the Continental tickets. But our main focus is going to be on the game between Remo Stars and Lobby Stars. Team Lobby Stars are sitting 20th on the table right there in the MPFL match day 32 with 24 points right there. Moving away from the MPFL, yesterday was a fantastic game, trust me, at the Emirates Stadium. Mind-blowing. I had so much, to look forward to coming to the studio today, and I can express my joy to see what Arsenal, did to the Galacticos. I'm talking about the 15-time champions, the white side of football, Real Madrid. The game ended 3-0 in favor of the Gunners. Amazing. Declan Rice and also Merino giving Arsenal a 3-goal advantage in the first leg. A beautiful free kick from Declan Rice. We call it Jollof goal. One bending goal that is played on my head over and over and over and over again. And that is taking Declan Rice to be the first player to score 2 free kick goals right there in the Champions League. That report was coming through from Opta, giving us that update from that game yesterday. And so, we have so much to look forward to in the second leg. And trust me, Jude Bellingham, Lucas Vazquez, all the players are speaking that we are Real Madrid. Something can happen at Santiago Bernabeu. But trust me, the Gunners are ranting. They are happy. We saw prayers going on, before this game. And I think the God of football has answered the Arsenal. Moving away from that, let me let you know that at the Allianz Arena, it's looking like Vincent Kompany cannot take on Simeon Inzaghi right there. The game ended 2-1. A beautiful Rabona from Lautaro Martinez to give the first goal for Inter Milan. And also Thomas Muller. The situation about Thomas Muller is funny because last week we had the report that he's not going to remain in the club come next season. But we would have thought he would have given them, an advantage going into the second leg. But let me let you know, football, never say never. Fratesi, with the goal right there in the 88th minute for Inter Milan. The energy is wrapped up right now for the second leg going down to San Siro. You know what happens in San Siro? Football happens right there. Moving away right immediately from that, let me let you know that we have the update from the Premier League and the UEFA Champions League that the 5th placed in the Premier League will qualify for the UEFA Champions League next season. So I'm sure Chelsea fans will be excited to hear this, or maybe Aston Villa fans, or maybe Newcastle, but anyone that can qualify for the 5th place. But I'm sure Manchester United would not do not be in contention for such happenings. But maybe we're likely to see 6 Premier League teams play in the Champions League come next season. Reason being because I remember Manchester United are still yet unbeaten in the Europa League. So if they go ahead to lift that trophy, we're going to see 6 Premier League teams play next season. And you want to ask me how and why are we having 5th place team or 5 teams play in the Champions League come next season. I'm going to let you in on that. England had one of the 2 sport performance in European competitions. I'm talking about the Champions League, the Europa League and the Conference League last season. The 2023, the 2024 season. The Sporting family saw the Premier League get an extra Champions League slot, meaning the top 5 teams would qualify come next season. And like I said, also, if another team get the chance to lift the trophy, like Manchester United, if they can do that at the European scene, we're going to see 6 teams, take part right there in the Champions League come next season. The Sporting family, more drama, more action tonight in the UEFA Champions League, where Paris Saint-Germain are the 13th-time champions of the French League 1. We are doing unbeaten this season. I'm going to take on Aston Villa. We have done immense proud and our job going into the Champions League this season. You have Paris Saint-Germain against Aston Villa, and 2 teams are in good form. 5 wins in 5 for Paris Saint-Germain and 5 wins in 5 right there for Aston Villa. But my eyes is going to be on this game because of the likes of Marcus Rashford, Oli Watkins, Asensio and the likes like that. But we're going to see also Ousmane Dembele do great things for Paris Saint-Germain right there in this beautiful encounter. And this is one trophy Paris Saint-Germain would want to win in their cabinet come this season. Remember, they are going for the treble. They already have the French League 1 already this season, and the Champions League is on site. And remember, they also have the Cup, the France trophy, final game coming up right there in France. The Sporting family, FC Barcelona, will take on Borussia Dortmund tonight. And, the likes of Gavi, Pedri, Lewandowski, Rafinha, Hansi Flick and the boys, are on course also to take on Borussia Dortmund. We are not doing too good, this season in the UEFA Champions League right there. But I'm so optimistic about this game to see that FC Barcelona are most likely to go out on top on their home turf to win against Borussia Dortmund right there in the UEFA Champions League. So this is one game we're going to look forward to in the UEFA Champions League come this night, and the predictions are rolling in, and I'm sure you'll be looking at Paris Saint-Germain against Aston Villa, FC Barcelona against Borussia Dortmund. Now quickly, still on the Champions League, let me let you know that Mikel Arteta has said so much about Bukayo Saka, saying the injury is not something serious. So trust me, Arsenal fans, easy, pressure, calm down. Bukayo Saka will play second leg. That's the situation we are getting for Mikel Arteta in the Champions League. The Sporting family, that will be all on Dominion Sport on Daybreak Live right here on Dominion TV. Samson and AB, over to you.
Well, that's a good one, Toluwani. It was a very serious game right there in the UEFA Champions League yesterday. Well, I think out of 2, I got one correctly. I told
and AB got one wrong. She went for Madrid yesterday, and AB, it was a massacre.
Really sad. Really
whitewashing. They were whitewashed from glass and massacre.
I wish AB had to calm down yesterday to say, Toluwani, can I give Arsenal the win? But it is what it is. Football football, anything can happen.
Well, I think judging by what I saw for Real Madrid yesterday, the players were at the Emirates Stadium, but they were not there. No, it was a colossal failure right there. Real Madrid, that's not the Real Madrid I was expecting to see.
That's not the Real Madrid that gone ahead to win 15 trophies.
I was even thinking they were going to hold on, maybe for the first 45 minutes, relax, study the game, and then see how they can play. But immediately they got the ball, boom, they wanted to play. You are not going to do that against an informed Arsenal team. And judging by your own performance in recent times, it tells you that automatically Real Madrid were not in the best shape to see the game through. They should have actually waited, and then maybe if the scoreline wasn't that much, the margin wasn't that much, probably a 1-0, 2-0, maybe they could have actually had a better chance of overturning that deficit in the return leg. But then it is what it is. I got that wrong. My bad. But then talking about Inter Milan, I told you Bayern Munich do not really have what it takes to defeat Inter Milan. And then it ended in even at home, it ended in loss for them. I don't see how they are going to turn that around at the San Siro. That's a place.
That's the place you don't want to be.
You don't want to be for a Champions League night. No team in Europe, I repeat it again, no team in Europe want to be losing at home and then go to the San Siro and say you want to turn it around. It's not that easy to do. That's one fortress of a ground that you don't want to play in. And then going forward, the English Premier League, I think it's a good one to see their performance, give them extra slots for the UEFA Champions League this season. So Manchester United might just get a chance to play in the UEFA Champions League, even if they don't smell the top 5. That is one. And of course, you still have teams like Aston Villa who stand the chance of,
Newcastle,
if they win the UEFA Champions League, they automatically qualify.
So most likely we see 7 teams playing in the Champions League in the Premier League.
Champions. That's one thing of performance. And then talking about gambling in football, I think that's one thing that's totally.
Come on, it's not one thing we always want to hear.
I think in the EPL, Sandro Tonali was suspended for
we still have Lucas Paqueta.
It has happened to, I think, was it Samsoje at a point?
Yeah, at a point. So I think that's not one thing we always want to see. In the report of our players, you cannot be playing football and be betting.
These are two different things. In fact, you cannot give your friends tips for football. It's totally against the rule of the game, especially when it comes to betting. That's totally.
And I think we must give a kudos to MPFL, trying to monitor situations like this and also calling a quick action to say, okay, come explain yourself. We're not going to give you a judgment immediately. Come explain yourself with the situation of Lobby Stars. And imagine the Lobby Stars we're talking about are sitting at 20th, they're sitting relegation battle already. So I think they have so much to say. Emmanuel Uja, the media team of Lobby Stars, must defend the case of Lobby Stars, today, with the MPFL management.
And that takes us to the fixtures you ran through, which is going to come up today. That's the UEFA Champions League games. Between Paris Saint-Germain against Aston Villa. One thing that strikes me most about that fixture is the fact that how Aston Villa has been able to attract quality players into their team. They are at the beginning of the team, they were mid-table teams, and eventually they were able to lure players like Marcus Rashford to the team, Marco Asensio,
Daniel Malian, and players like that, coming in. And I think the kudos must go to Unai Emery. The style of play with Aston Villa has been fantastic.
He's a winner. He won trophies for Sevilla, the UEFA Europa League, and he was at the point he was all everywhere. When you talk about UEFA Europa, I think he did that too at Villarreal.
Yeah, he did that.
When
also,
you mention UEFA Europa League, you mention his name. He was like back to back. He was
so I think it's the mentality that he brings to the team, and that's why player wants to play for him. So if you don't have that mentality as a coach, players will want to play for you. I think that's the situation we're getting with Marcus Rashford and also Ruben Amorim right there. But that will be another story for another day. But it's going to be a big game. Remember,
and then playing against Paris Saint-Germain, unbeaten so far this season, especially in the league.
Yeah, so I think this one.
The league is in the bag already, so they have nothing to worry about. They can face the UEFA Champions League. Wouldn't that be a problem for Aston Villa going forward?
It's going to be a problem because of the form they are in, but also, like I said, Aston Villa also 5 wins in 5, going into this beautiful game right there in the Champions League. So it's going to be a big battle. We're going to see a free-flowing football, between these two teams. Remember, Ousmane Dembele, Doué, the likes of Gankala Ramos, Varatelia. These players are going to play free-flowing football with the likes of Rashford, Daniel Merlin, Watkins and the likes like that, playing good football in this beautiful game. But one game, I might be a little bit worried about is Barca not, having to score goals the way they do, in the past games. We see 4 goals, 7-0, 5-0.
I think the goals have dried up a little bit.
The goals is dried already, and Borussia Dortmund might want to revive themselves.
They haven't been that consistent this season, not too convincing.
But maybe, like I said, a football, anything can happen. We can say Borussia Dortmund. Remember the last game in the Bundesliga, over the weekend ended 4-1. So they have a form going into this. And remember, FC Barcelona against Real Betis ended in a 1-1 draw. So this is going to be a big game between FC Barcelona and also Borussia
now, for
Dortmund.
all these 4 teams that will be playing today in the quarterfinals of the UEFA Champions League, I think we should look at players to watch out for in all these games.
My player to watch out for is going to be, Ousmane Dembele and the youngster Desire Doué. That's going to be the player I'm going to be looking forward to in the game between Paris Saint-Germain.
For me, I will do Kvaratskhelia for Paris Saint-Germain. From Napoli down to... I think Napoli, they actually lost 2 players.
Key players.
That they should have held on to. Probably will be competing for the Italian Serie A this season. That's Victor Osimhen, who went to Galatasaray. And of course, Kvaratskhelia, who came to Paris Saint-Germain. And those 2 players, they have been instant hits in these teams. Victor Osimhen has contributed almost 30 goals.
30 goals
and assists combined together
in
the Turkish league. And then Kvaratskhelia has been a shining light joining this team, Paris Saint-Germain.
Actually, and
going to Aston Villa.
I'm going to Aston Villa. I'm going to be looking at the likes of Asensio. But the certainty of him playing against his club is still in contention because contract like that. We know that once you are playing against us, your ginger, day, on the body. But Aston Villa, will be looking at Marcus Rashford, Oli Watkins, to come up and see what they can do right there for Aston Villa. For FC Barcelona, it's going to be the captain Rafinha. The old
maybe Pedri,
Pedri, and our grandpa, Lewandowski, getting in the goals right there. For Borussia Dortmund, it's going to be Guirassy, Karim Adeyemi, and the likes like that are showing what they can help Borussia Dortmund do going into this beautiful encounter. I want to ask Abby, what are your predictions for this game? I want you to give us a good prediction. Remember yesterday, Abby, you said Madrid are going to win and they lost. So Paris Saint-Germain against Aston Villa.
Okay, I'll go for Paris Saint-Germain.
Paris Saint-Germain. FC Barcelona and Borussia Dortmund.
Barcelona.
Is it because you're familiar with the names?
Home teams. She's going with home teams. Since Arsenal won yesterday against our prediction, she's looking for a way to be safe. So home teams. This is not the MPFL anyway. It's going to happen the other way.
Okay, so let me ask you, Nobi Stars against Remo Stars. Who's going to win the game?
Well, I think it's going to be a stroll in the park for Remo Stars. They know that they have to seal the league title before it becomes a mess for them, having lost their last game away from home. And, like this, the MPFL, basically you have to win games. If you are not winning games, you are having issues. Don't forget, you don't get the chance to win points away from home that often in the MPFL. So it means that when you are playing at home, you secure 3 points. And when you are away, you make sure that you fight for all 3 points. And if you get 1, that will be a plus.
All right. Thank you so much, Samson.
Yeah, it's good to have you in the studio, Toluwani, this morning.
Thank you.
All right, the show is still Daybreak Live on Dominion Television. We say very big thank you for being a part of the show so far. And of course, you can watch us live on Facebook. You can watch us live on TikTok. And of course, you can do that on all our social media platforms, including YouTube. Exactly. So it means that you just have to find us on YouTube, on Facebook, and it is at Dominion Broadcast. So if you are doing that on X, it's at Dominion Cast. Don't forget, we are also on TikTok, we are also on Instagram. So find us and follow that page and continue to drop your comments and be a part of this show. This is the curtain raiser for the day, which is the Daybreak Live. We'll go on a short commercial break, and when we return, the show continues on Dominion Television.
Welcome to Dominion Broadcast House, your channel of choice, with the best stories and the best songs, where inspiration meets entertainment.
From powerful stories to thought-provoking conversations, we bring you content that informs, entertains, and transforms.
Catch top-notch entertainment, including movies, talk shows, and insightful programs curated just for you.
Looking for cutting-edge documentaries, exclusive interviews, and lifestyle shows that matter? We have got it all.
Stay ahead with the latest trends, inspiring success stories, and must-watch TV moments only on Dominion Television.
Join a community that celebrates excellence, innovation, and African storytelling at its finest.
Don't miss out. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on all our social media platforms, and watch Dominion Television today.
All right, welcome back from that break. The show is still Daybreak Live on Dominion Television. And of course, we simply have to go. And before we go, this morning, we are going to lay more emphasis on health, which is very, very important. The takeaway for today is that you make sure you do all the necessary things. No self-medication, Abby. And of course, you don't, as we rightly said, you monitor your mental health, you exercise, you drink enough water, you take care of your skin, every part of your body. They deserve to be treated like a temple.
Drink a lot of water,
so
pray.
It means that you must be able
and do some
to
good
take care of
extracurricular activities. I'm sure you understand what I mean.
Well,
extracurricular, it's all part of
if
exercise.
If you're hearing me, I cannot hear you.
Okay. Do some extracurricular activities, you know, do some winding,
aerobics,
some rolling,
aerobics,
any way you can.
And the gym.
Eat well, eat a lot of vegetables. I know people will say food is costly, but if you eat right,
drink water,
you will actually be able to avoid the hospitals. Listen to your body. Anything like constant headaches, go for a checkup. It might not just be taking the over-the-counter pills alone. Painkillers, not just
go to hospitals.
Check yourself.
Check yourself up.
And, you know, just do that. Remember, we said health issues is not just a backup plan, it's a lifestyle. Have a lifestyle to live healthy life. Take care of your skin, take care of your body. Bath well, stay healthy, stay refreshed. Eat good food, eat fruits. What else would you say?
Eat good food. That's one.
But you know, this eat good food, Samson. This eat good food.
Food is expensive.
It's not easy.
But then, as much as you can afford it, make sure.
Because we'll talk about eating balanced diet, but these days, how many people are saying food to eat? Not to talk of whether it is balanced. Let's even get it to eat. But hey,
that's another point.
That's another thing. But we encourage you.
We encourage you to make sure you eat right.
And don't forget, health is wealth.
Don't just eat for eating's sake. Eat right.
Eat right. All
right, we will have to go. We draw the curtains on today's edition of Daybreak Live on Dominion Television. Don't forget, any claim to knowledge that cannot be justified or traceable to reason is no knowledge at all. And that's my advice for you this morning. Everything you do, gain knowledge, at least something about everything. It will help you along the way. Samson Balogun is my name.
My name is Abby Dickinson. Thank you for watching. Thank you for staying tuned on Dominion Television. See you again, same time, and God bless Nigeria.
With the best stories and the best songs, where inspiration meets entertainment.
From powerful stories to thought-provoking conversations, we bring you content that informs, entertains, and transforms.
Catch talk shows and insightful programs curated just for you.
Looking for cutting-edge documentaries, exclusive interviews, and lifestyle shows that matter? We have got it all.
Stay ahead with the latest trends, inspiring success stories, and must-watch TV moments only on
Dominion Television.
Join a community that celebrates excellence, innovation, and African storytelling at its finest.
Don't miss out. Subscribe